Hi everyone, Dallin from our home here in Utah. Well, last night was a historic day in America. In fact, this is the first Facebook live call we've done with Vaseo where we weren't competing against a World Series game. And thankfully, we didn't do this call last night because it was an election here in America. It's a historic day in America. It's been, my mom used to always say, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. And neither of these candidates heeded my mother's advice very well. Nonetheless, I know that half of America is excited today and half of America are licking their wounds. That's the political process in a democracy. It's not always smooth. It gets messy at times. But my mom also said, and my dad, who loved politics, we were a split family. Like half of our family is Democrat, half of our family is Republican. My dad would be watching CNN in one room. My mom would be watching Fox News in another. But both of them used to say, regardless of who wins an election, let's have respect for the office of President of the United States. So it's my hope that as we begin this company, Vaseo, I said that I wanted to have a culture that we can all be proud of, that's welcoming of people of all race, religion, and I can also add political persuasion. Let's make sure we've got a big tent to welcome people who want to do better for themselves and their families. So let's come together. I will say I don't think there's ever been a better time to start a company than right now, January 2017. Look, we have the Cubs won the World Series for the first time in like 108 years. I can hardly remember when they won the last one. And then we've got an outsider that's now the president. Change is in the wind. And so we're going to start and do something different than anyone's ever done before. We're going to build a brand around the world. So we have a new president in America, and we also have a president in Vaseo. And on tonight's Facebook call, I want to introduce you to Vaseo's president, Daniel Picou, who has come on board to help steer this company as co-founder and president. Daniel, come and have a seat. He's got the right haircut, too.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to talk for a minute about Daniel and what attracted me to Daniel. We've been talking for about the last almost 2 years, I guess, over the phone.
Yep.
And when I first talked to Daniel on the phone, I envisioned this guy with a full head of hair, like 5'8", Italian looking, and stuff. And then when I met Daniel, he's like 6'5", and I really liked his hair. He's a very smart guy. He kind of reminds me of Ken Jennings. You remember him on Jeopardy, the guy that knew all the answers, regardless of what the question was? He knew the answer. Amazing. That's kind of how Daniel is. I found him to be someone who was interested primarily in this business, in helping people and helping to create a brand that we could take around the world and that would stand the test of time, to be a part of a legacy company that's not here, 2 or 3 or 5 years, but here 20, 30, and 50 years down the road, a company that we can leave to our children and our grandchildren. So that was highly attractive to me. Daniel's got a background of success. I always say the past doesn't guarantee the future, but you can look at what people have done in their past and look to the future. If they haven't had much success in the past, then maybe they don't in the future. But Daniel has had experience. He's built 2 technology companies. He's got strengths that I don't possess. He's a great administrator, an organizer. He's going to be running the day-to-day affairs of the business, and he's also going to be great on stage building relationships. So Daniel, I'm grateful that you're joining with me on this journey, and we're starting this. It's amazing what's happened already in just the last few weeks. So just speak to the Vaseo community and just share with them a little bit about your background, your experience, what you're passionate about, and what caused you to uproot. You've got a place in Texas, you've got a place in California, but you said, I'm in Utah now, and you're here, and you're helping us get this thing launched, and you're with us, I believe, for the long term as a co-founder of this company.
Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you for partnering with me. It's myself, Dallin, and Dan Zhu, our third partner. It's been an incredible team we've formed in what I would call a reasonably short period of time for everything we've accomplished. It's been an honor to be here. I've got a background in digital services and technology. I've built 2 digital services companies, had a lot of success in that industry, and quite frankly, have a passion for building companies, but I wanted to do something a little different this time. Dallin and I started talking, as he mentioned, almost 2 years ago, and just really getting to know each other on a friendship basis, not a business basis. And as we started talking and talking different philosophies and talking about how we could bring certain skill sets to the table, and skills that he had, I quite frankly don't have. Skills that I have, he quite frankly doesn't have. Dallon's an incredible people person. He's an incredible visionary for building the vision. He's wonderful in people's living rooms and building relationships and building a community. And I thought I could bring my business experience and my overall vision of what it takes to build a company, and I got really excited. So part of the reason I'm here is to build that brand. We want to do something really special. You know, when I first sat down with Dallon, we had some very deep heart-to-heart conversations about things that are done right inside of the direct sales industry, and quite frankly, things that haven't been done right. And my vision is to build something long-term here, something where we give people the ability to succeed. And I'm not telling you you're going to go out and build a business overnight that's going to be life-changing and it's going to just be the success story of the industry. What I can guarantee you is, on a part-time basis or a full-time basis, I believe we're going to be somewhere that you can be long-term. My passion, when you look at the industry, is there's really only a handful of brands. I'd say 10 or 12 brands that are recognizable to the average person that are not inside the industry. I could name those companies. I think everybody out there knows them because they're brand names. That's what we want to build here. I get asked many a times, you know, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been on a call with a leader or I've been on a call with one of our brand partners, and they've asked me, geez, this is taking off a lot faster than we thought. Any idea on what kind of revenue numbers we're going to do? My answer is the same every time, whether it's in person, on a one-on-one meeting, or on a phone call. It's more, to me, about the foundation we build. It's about the quality of people we attract to the company and the quality of leaders. And when I say the quality of leaders, I'm not just talking about the people that we talk about out there that have had massive success in the industry. We're attracting a lot of people on an everyday basis that have never been in the industry. A lot of people that this is their first company, and I really feel like they found a home and they don't know how lucky they are yet. So that's a little bit of my vision, what I want to create here. We want to do it right. We want to take our time. When I say build a brand, it's not something that happens overnight, and we know that. There's going to be growing pains. We want you guys to bear with us through those. There's going to be decisions made, and quite frankly, and Dallon and I have talked about this, we're going to make mistakes. But we want to be able to look everybody in the eye and know that we made decisions based on for the greater good of the company, and that we're building an overall company, a family, a culture that everybody can be part of. So Dallon, that's a little bit of my vision of what I want to create, and part of what excites me on a daily basis to be here.
Well, that's great. And I think you get a sense in just a few minutes. Daniel is very well spoken. He's a very passionate guy. I'm honored that he's a co-founder in Viseo as we take this brand and build a brand one day and one person at a time as we go out and bless 1 million lives. And then we'll huddle up and say, are we signing up for the second million?
Absolutely. 100%.
And then we'll go as long and as far as we can. And I agree with Daniel saying, how much are we going to do the first year? You know, I was with a company in the 1990s, the first company I helped build, USANA. We did 3 million our first year, then 7, then 24, 56, 85. And on our 6th year, we broke the $100 million mark. And here it's been almost 27 years. My sister still gets a check each and every week for the last almost 27 years. That's the type of legacy we want to build and
Absolutely.
create. You know, we talk to people all the time that, you know, they've had success at different companies, and I just scratch my head saying, well, then what happened? You know, because I don't think anybody signs up in a company wanting it to be a short-term thing and then start over again. But why does that happen?
No one does.
Why do you think that happens?
I think there's a number of things that come into play there. I think number one is it's not just our industry. I think we live in a culture where people are very focused and they want it now. We live in, I call it a microwave society. We put a pizza in the oven for 3 minutes and 3 minutes later we wonder why the pizza's not done, right? We live in a very short term, everybody wants something now. We want instant gratification. We want it now. We're not willing to work for it for the long term, for the overall vision. So I think we've seen that inside the industry. It's translated to all industries, but especially ours. And I think the second reason why we have a problem with that, and we've seen that really rampant the last few years, is quite frankly, let's take some responsibility here. I think the industry's let a lot of people down. I think there's been a lot of companies that quite frankly didn't have the right intentions when they launched from the beginning. I think there's been a lot of companies that had maybe the hottest product of the month or the hottest product of the season, and not necessarily were looking at what would benefit people long term through products, through science. there's a lot of talk in this industry about compensation plans, and so many people are attracted to a company based on a comp plan. I want to address this because I think it's very important. If you compete based on a comp plan, you'll lose. There's always somebody else will have a better comp plan out there. We're building a company, a brand, and a culture with quality products that come from that brand. We're not out there selling the flashiest, the most sizzling comp plan in the industry. We'll lose, and we don't even want to be part of that, quite frankly.
That's good. Well, we want to go over a couple of other points on tonight's call. First of all, as we're talking about building this culture and this brand, leadership begins and ends with leadership. Companies, families, cultures grow and collapse based on leadership. And so in these early days of Viseo, what's been most important to me is, yes, we need a compensation plan that rewards people at the beginning, the middle, and the top of the plan. Yes, we need quality products that are demonstrable and disruptive, but nothing is more important than people. And so I have taken great care with Carrie in selecting a corporate team of people of high integrity with a track record of success. They've all put in well more than their 10,000 hours that Malcolm Gladwell talks about in his book Outliers. He said, don't expect to be an expert until you put in at least 10,000 hours. I would up that to 20,000 hours. All the members of this corporate team have done that. And you're going to be meeting members of our corporate team on our next Facebook call on November 17th. But we've got great leadership, and so one by one, each day we're putting another brick on the wall of Viseo, whether it be exceptional products, another member of the team finalizing a compensation plan that's fair and lucrative with potential so that people can dream and chase those dreams. So it's one day at a time, and Daniel is right. We're going to be honest. We're going to do our best. We'll tell you when we make mistakes. I made a mistake already. Well, several probably, but one is this. I thought we were going to have to order X amount of product, and y'all are talking to lots of people. And so we've doubled, tripled, and quadrupled our initial order, the initial order of inventory. So, that's we're just going with it. It's very organic, but we'll probably have to increase that again. Okay, a couple of things. One of the things that was really important to Daniel and I and Dan and the members of the team, as we get this company started, we want you to feel like you own a piece of the rock. And the way that we're going to do that is with a Founders Pack. And so in North America, which is the United States and Canada, and we plan on shipping into Canada day one on a not-for-resale basis in January when we launch, is that for the first 7,500 people who participate and purchase the Founders Pack, which I don't have the price right now. We're just finishing what the pack is. It'll be up here, probably in the next week or so. You'll be able to see it. You're going to have an assortment of all of our products, the 5 nutritional products. You'll have samples. You'll have a ticket to our grand opening, which is going to be, I guess it's okay to disclose this, isn't it? It is? Okay, Q2. That's well stated. Our grand opening, we're launching in January, everybody, and our grand opening is going to be in Las Vegas in the second quarter of 2017. In the Founders Pack, we will be including one ticket to the grand opening. I envision thousands upon thousands of people at this grand opening in Q2 in Las Vegas. So the real benefit of the Founders Pack, in addition to the several $100s in savings that you will enjoy getting this Founders Pack, is that we are taking 2% of the revenue of this company as we march around the globe. 1% of the revenue every quarter in the whole region, like North America. You're one of the first 7,500 people who get the Founders Pack, and what you do is what your organization will do. So this is a business of duplication. I encourage you to get the Founders Pack so you've got an assortment of products to get products out to people. And by the way, I slept through the whole election last night because I took the sleep product. I couldn't stay awake past 9 o'clock. That is a true story. I called Dr. Emmett Blair this morning and I blamed him. I said, man, you made me miss the election last night because I was fast asleep on our sleep product. But the Founders Pack has the sleep product along with the brain product, along with the anti-inflammatory product and our other products. All 5 products, an assortment of those and samples, and hundreds of dollars of savings. And you participate in the global revenue of this company. Every quarter, 1% of the revenue in North America will be divided among those people who purchase the Founders Pack. You're going to have a pin that you'll wear forever, that you're one of the inaugural members of the Founders Club in Viseo. So 1% of the global revenue will be paid out every quarter to people who purchase the Founders Pack and who have reached a certain rank in the compensation plan and who have the requisite number of customers. Our business, part of building a brand, a big part of this, and I know we've had a lot of discussion, is bringing customers into this company. And so in order to get paid, you're going to have customers. So the Founders Pack, 1% of the revenue in North America, and sharing in 1% of the global revenue, so that as we expand to South America and Europe and Asia, and as the company grows, imagine a billion-dollar brand out there and a multi-billion-dollar brand, and because you were one of the first to help get this jet off the runway, you get to participate not only in the regional revenue, but the global revenue. That's a significant incentive for you and our way of saying thank you for being one of the early pioneers. So that's the Founders Pack. You'll be getting the information on that probably in the next week or so up here on the Facebook page. So the next thing, the open enrollment. Here's something I'm really excited about, because I think we've told you that before, that on November 21st, you're going to be able to get in and enroll. But we've been able to, thanks to our partner in the software development, we're now confident that next Monday, is that next Monday, the 14th? Or a week from Monday. Is it next Monday? Next Monday, the 14th of November at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Write that down. 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Monday, November 14th. And I just realized this a few minutes ago. That happens to be my dad's birthday. So I think, I didn't plan it that way. It just worked out that way. That we were going to do it on the 21st, but we're moving it up a week. So we're flipping the switch next Monday, the 14th of November, for you to be able to go in and get your spot in Viseo and start enrolling people. If you don't have a sponsor yet, find a sponsor. You need to have a sponsor to get enrolled in Viseo. So that's next Monday, the 14th, is when open enrollment begins. And this is the pre-launch, you guys. I mean, it's such an exciting time. We'll have, I believe, tens of thousands of people participate between now and the end of December. Thanksgiving holiday is coming up in a couple of weeks. I encourage you to have people watch our video, go to Facebook, watch these Facebook Live, talk about the products. And by the way, I think later tonight, we're going to have 5 different pages up on the Viseo Facebook, the official corporate Facebook page. 1 page for each of our products, talking about some of the features and the benefits of all of our 5 products. So mark down the date, get in there. I encourage you to get in there as close to 8 a.m. next Monday, the 14th, as possible to get your spot in Viseo, and then start talking to people now. If you haven't already, start putting your tree together so you can start inputting people into the tree. Of course, we're going to need a username and a password and your email address and a few other things, other pieces of information, but we will not be asking for your social security number. So that's a positive. Daniel, why don't you share with the community a few of the do's and don'ts, what we're seeing out there, and boy, do we appreciate your enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
Man, you guys are all amazing, but a few of the things that are happening, we probably need to stop, but you talk about some of the do's and the don'ts at this point.
I think the first thing I want to address before I get into the do's and don'ts is the truth is good enough. Guys, we need to be really careful in today's environment, both from a legal standpoint and, a regulatory environment, to be really careful about both product claims and income claims. That includes social media. That includes just conversations when, quite frankly, talking to either a customer or a prospective brand partner. There's no need to make income claims. There's no need to make product claims. The truth is good enough. And what we have here, as I stressed before, is building something long-term. This is a home for everybody. Part of what we wanted to build here is no one's bigger than the brand. No one's more important than the brand. No one person to Viseo is more important than any of the other brand partners. We look at everybody equally, and I really sincerely mean that. A couple of things I want to address is there's some domains out there that people are using the word Viseo in that domain. Legally, that's our corporation. We can go get those domains back. We don't want to make it a big issue. Just don't create domain names with the word Viseo in them. Also, regarding social media, creating a Facebook, if you're a brand new brand partner or helping your team create their social media accounts, make sure it says Viseo, make sure it says Viseo by Lori, Viseo by Fred. We don't want the Viseo name in there. It has to say by with your name. There's been some confusion in the market, I think, over the last couple of weeks since we've been in pre-launch, where people are putting the Viseo name in their social media. There's been confusion if it's our accounts, if it's corporate, or if it's brand partners accounts. We want to stop that. So make sure that you have by in the word. Also, there's been a number of people out there saying they have either a direct connection to Dallin or they're personally enrolled by the company. And that's just not true. There's no reason to tell people out there that you're personally enrolled by the company, you're frontline to the company, or you have a direct special connection to Dallin. We need to address that. We need to make it an equal playing field. There's no preferences. There's no special privileges for an elite group of people. We truly, from day one, want to set a culture where everybody's included and everybody's on the same page.
Excellent. I do want to talk for just a minute about the compensation plan. Back in 1991, when we launched USANA, we were one of the first in the world to introduce the binary compensation plan. So that's the type of compensation plan that I've been accustomed to for the last almost 27 years. Our compensation plan will be put up probably in about another week. It's being edited, right? But know this, there's going to be 8 ways to make income. It's a binary compensation plan. It means you put one on the left, one on the right, and then you teach those people to do the same. Then you don't sit back in your lazy boy recliner expecting to get rich. This is about getting customers, buying the product, and then finding people who are interested in improving their financial situation in life. And like Daniel said, don't overpromise. Underpromise and overdeliver. But when I'm talking to people, I'm saying it's really pretty simple. You find some people to get on the product and enjoy the benefits of the product. Then some of those people will start introducing it to other people, and then it starts to grow. And you put one on your left leg and one on your right, and you teach those people to do the same, and you go down and you duplicate, and you're starting to build depth in your organization. So we'll put information on the compensation plan up here within the next week, 8 ways to earn income. I think you'll really, really like it. But I agree completely with what Daniel said. I've always said that a compensation plan is way down on the list of why a company is successful or not successful. It has to do with quality products and leadership. Now, a few of you have asked some questions on Facebook. I apologize that we haven't gotten back to answer a lot of those, but I've brought Dr. Emick Blair on the call again from Colorado this morning to ask him a few of the questions that you've posed. Emick, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Good afternoon or good evening, Emick. Good to talk to you. One of the questions.
Absolutely. Good afternoon.
And by the way, you did a great job on the last Facebook Live call. And I have to say in front of everybody, it's really you that I blame that I wasn't able to stay up and watch the election returns last night, because I did take the sleep product and I was sound asleep. So I think you owe me. I think you owe me an apology.
Well, if you stayed up, you've just gotten really nervous for a couple hours until you saw the results, right?
Well, you're assuming that the person who won is who I wanted to win, and I'm not going there. Well, Emick, here's the question that people. One of the questions that people ask is they're saying, "Hey, I've seen some other liposome products in the marketplace. How are the Viseo products with the liposome delivery different than other products in the marketplace, 1? And 2, how are your liposomes different than other liposomes that are manufactured?" So can you tackle those questions?
Absolutely. So, for the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years, I've been formulating products really to go into doctors' offices, right? So they're really designed for doctors to use them in an acute type of fashion, right? These products, what we've done is we've made them, number one, comprehensive, right? So they're not single ingredient product. They're comprehensive products with multiple ingredients in them. Like the Core Essentials is a full-blown multivitamin. And we've also made them gentle enough so they can go into everybody's home and people can use them on a daily basis, right? So rather than just having products that only a small group of people would get real benefit from, now these products are really designed for everybody, right? So that just really tackles what the nature of the products are. What makes these products unique on top of it is multi-level. The first one is that we use a natural manufacturing process where we don't use any temperature, we don't use any pressure, and we don't include any kind of organic or toxic solvents. in our manufacturing process. So everything is ultra clean. Not only that, they're going to be free of any kind of common allergens. And what really sets us apart from everybody else is our technology, our liposomes are clinically backed. We've collaborated with universities and research organizations and doctors, and we've actually proven that our delivery method increases absorption of certain nutrients. So not only are we making these for day-to-day use, but we're actually backed by science rather than just, hey, listen, we've got a liposome, it probably works.
Okay. Any other questions, Daniel, that you want Emic to?
I would like you to share with people a little bit, just for a minute or two, on how your vision aligned with Dallin. I don't think people out there, our brand partners, really know. Dallin's had two, as people know out there, $2 billion successes between his two previous companies, and this being his third company. He always says 3 is his favorite number. His third time is going to be the charm. Do you want to go into that a little bit, Emic? A little bit about you wanting to take the products and really make them available on a mass scale, and how it was just a great partnership when you and Dallin were able to align and both bring each other's visions and make it one.
Absolutely, yeah. So, as I said, previously, I was formulating and making products that were specific to go to doctor's offices, and that's fantastic. However, when Dallin and I met, and what we talked about was Dallin had this vision of, you know what, we're going to take this and put a bottle in every single person's home. We're going to put the whole line in every single person's home so that everybody can get the benefits from these type of products, not just people who go to doctors, et cetera, that prescribe these kind of products. Now we're really going to try and help, and I guess a term he always likes to say is that he wants to go and touch 1 million people's lives. Well, that's exactly what I'd like to do also.
Okay, thank you, Emic. We'll have you on maybe next week for another Facebook call, and we'll be reading the Q&As or the questions that people are posing. And I'm excited for all of you out there to get on the product and start enjoying the benefits of the Viseo products. So to summarize today, you've met Daniel, our new president. I hope that he gives you comfort that I'm surrounding myself with amazing, exceptional people, and I am. So this is about the right people, the right products that are disruptive, a compensation structure that will reward people for their time and effort. Generally in networking, maybe you're underpaid in the beginning. I'm never going to say you're overpaid long term, because as far as I'm concerned, you can never earn too much money, because I was a distributor first. I understand how hard it is to build, manage, and maintain an organization. So you'll never hear me say that so-and-so is making too much money. That's just not in my DNA. We've got all the pieces of the puzzle. I told you next Monday, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, get in and get your spot. We probably ought to put some information up on our Facebook page to make sure they understand where to go to do that.
We will. We'll make sure it's available for everybody, and there's clear communication prior to Monday, so there's not a mad rush, obviously, to take your spot. We'll make sure we communicate from corporate on how to do that.
And hopefully by next Monday, we will have the official Viseo compensation plan up there for you to review. I told you that in these early stages, I'm interested in surrounding myself with people who want to go out and help build and protect a culture. I used to say I don't have 5 minutes to spend with someone who doesn't want to go do something significant. That was 12 years ago. I'm now saying I don't have 3 minutes to spend. I'm interested in locking arms with people who want to go out and build a global brand. Why? Because we want to go out and bless 1 million people's lives, physically, financially, and spiritually. I'm committed to doing that. Carrie's committed to doing that. I was on the phone this morning with a woman in Florida. I'm not going to give you her name, but I got goosebumps. It was really neat, and I hope she's watching the call tonight, because I got goosebumps as I was there with Carrie. We were taking our daughter to the doctor for a checkup on some things, and as we began to talk, I said, why are you involved in direct selling, and why Viseo? And she said, I want to go out there and bless a lot of women. She's built with women in the past. And it just reminds me of my sister Colette, who was the single mom of 5. 2 of them with cystic fibrosis, making $8 an hour without a day of college education. And she said yes to me in 1990 as we were getting ready to launch USANA. She's made a check each week for almost 27 years. Those are the success stories I want.
Long term.
And helping those single moms, those moms and dads who are tucking their kids in at night saying, I wish I had more time. I wish I could pay off the home. I mean, I think we ought to have parties when people pay off their home. You know?
A mortgage burning party.
There you go.
Yeah,
Let's write that down. I love that. You know, I think back of one of my favorite stories, and we'll end this, but one of my favorite, what I've missed the most, I guess, over the last couple of years, being on the sidelines, is I've missed the relationships. I've missed the stories.
Absolutely.
Of the single mom who's now able to take care of her kids, of the mom and dad who saved up their money to buy a trampoline, living in Iowa, and they went to their kids and they said, we've made enough money to buy the trampoline, kids, but we were just introduced to this home business that we're considering postponing the purchase of a trampoline to get them started in a home-based business in hopes that we can, in the future, buy more than just a trampoline, but instead take family trips. And as they were on a stage telling the story of how their children said, we believe in you, Mom and Dad. And so they didn't buy the trampoline. They postponed that gift for their children and said yes to a home-based business, and as a result of that, we're able to do much more than just buy a trampoline.
Absolutely.
Those are the stories we're going to
One person at a time, one family at a time. If we keep that philosophy, we're going to build a large brand and help a lot of people.
Let's go out and be servants. And by the way, do you want to share with the community what a friend of yours told you on the other? I used to say that Viseo doesn't mean anything, and we branded it. Vision, action, steadiness assures your success. Viseo. But you shared something with me the other day that it may also mean something else.
Viseo in Latin, I think it's Vise to be exact, but Vise in Latin, before it was translated into Italian and Spanish, actually meant servant. So if you go back in the original Latin, Vise actually means servant, which I found very, very interesting. We had no plan at all when we came up with the name, but it actually means servant in Latin. And I want to say one final thing from myself and the entire corporate team, and that is, thank you guys for believing in us, and thank you for taking a chance on us at the beginning of the company. I think a lot of people start companies and they look at it like, well, look at Dallon's past history, or look at what Daniel and Dallon have done, or look at this person's history. It's really not about that. At the end of the day, it's about you guys taking a chance on us and believing in us at the beginning of the company. Right now, we haven't had a lot to show. We're in pre-launch, going into soft launch, and I just want to thank everybody out there for believing in what we're putting together, believing in our vision, and just send a sincere thank you from the entire corporate team.
Thank you, Daniel, and I want to echo what Daniel said. Daniel's a servant. When I heard that it means servant, I thought, man, isn't that perfect? Let's all go out and serve one another. I've always said life is like a game of tennis. He or she who serves best usually wins. So we look forward to talking to you again on the 17th is our next Facebook Live call. Let's go out and start talking to people. Get ready. November 14th is around the corner. Happy birthday, Dad. God bless you and your families until we see you next time on another Viseo Facebook Live call.